My name is Shaun Overton, and I am turning this into a desert forest. And you know what makes that way easier? Rain. I am in the middle of an exceptional drought, which is the worst drought category. It is covering almost the entirety of the Trans-Pecos, which is the far, far western edge of Texas. We haven't had more than an inch of rain since June of 2023. It is now April of 2025. We're coming up on 2 years. And even though the recent rain event did not get to an inch, it's the most consecutive rain I've had in that time, which is 0.81 inches in 24 hours. Now, I know that everybody's wanting to see everything that we've done. Beaver dam analogs, the big dams, check dams, and of course the terraces, the dirt bathtubs. We want to see water in there, and I don't want to mislead you because in order for those things to fill up, it has to be a significant amount of rain in a very condensed period of time. The type of rain we had was a gentle rain, nothing dramatic or really all that camera worthy, but I do want to share that with you just because it's such an enormous blessing. So Brandon broke out the camera, he walked around, took some footage for you, and then I want to show you how we're going to capitalize on that rain to make the desert forest happen, which is of course planting seeds, making cuttings, doing the work to make sure that when this water does show up, we're as ready as we can be. So far, we're on the second terrace. I'm trying really, really hard to finish this up by the end of April. We have all the trees planted, all the irrigation lines set up. Half of the native seed section, which is going to be a mix of native grasses, is already in the ground. We are doing the final stretch, adding some lechuguilla, cactus, and on this final stretch, we're adding some trees that I purchased, trying to implement syntropic agroforestry. We're going to start on the terrace where I have trees that are ready to plant and a couple other plants. And then you're going to walk with me down into Cottonwood Canyon. It is time to take some tree cuttings. I can't wait to harvest what the canyon has for me. Hopefully we can expand that work up to the terraces where I've used the bulldozer to trap more water and simulate some of the conditions in the canyon. And over time, as we add clay and more soil amendments, I'm hoping that that's going to be the kickstart that the system needs to establish trees and make my desert forest a reality. We'll do agave first and then put the cactus in front of it. Trees, like agave cactus.
Agave cactus, agave cactus?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's start with the mulberry. The red mulberry, which is a near native in the Chihuahuan Desert.
Which is a
near native.
near native.
This also smells really good. I think it's the leftover rosemary though. And next up, rosemary and purslane. And two more varieties of purslane.
So do I want to kind of shimmy this whole dirt out and then...
So that's meant to be broken up, which reminds me, Jenny took care of that tree for us, or those trees, so she gets all the credit for bringing, they were almost dead.
Hey, Jenny!
Yay, Jenny! But she really wants her pot back.
Okay.
So we're going to do that. The trees are supposed to be broken up.
Yeah.
So obviously just be super careful as you break up the clump, and we'll do our best to get them in the ground and their new permanent home. So what I want is, I want a little plant community, but I want to spread the mulberry out. So I want a mulberry, a purslane, and a rosemary in that spot. And then you're left with a mulberry and a purslane, mulberry, purslane, and then you're out of stuff, so just mulberry. Thank you to Geology for sponsoring this episode. I've always known that I needed to take care of my skin, but coming out to Dustups in this sun, which is only going to get more intense as we head into summer, I'm at the point where I need to do something about it. And I'm not getting younger. I've got keratin growths and other ugliness going on my skin that I finally need to address. In my defense, I never knew where to start. There's too many products with too many promises. But Geology makes it simple. You just take their 60-second quiz to find the right suite of products that match your type of skin. That quiz addresses your goals. So whether it's like me, I don't want to look older than I am, or maybe it's acne or something else going on, Geology is going to help you pick the right product for you. They're going to pick out dermatologist-grade products suited for your skin. It's not complicated, it's easy to stick to, and it just works. Over 10,000 five-star reviews back it up. With 41 grooming awards, including from Men's Health and Oprah Daily, Geology is changing the game and changing faces. My personal favorite is the mix of vitamin C, vitamin E, and ferulic acid. It's making a big difference in my skin tone, and from that, my confidence. Stop wasting time guessing what works. Go to Geology, pay attention to the spelling, geology.com, take the quiz and use my code to get 70% off, plus a free gift. Thank you so much for supporting my sponsors. Without my sponsors, none of this Dustups project is happening. Go check out Geology, take care of your skin. And now back to the episode. It is spring in the Texas desert, and that means this is the perfect time for me to take cuttings of desert willow. I'm using the road that Daniel cut into Cottonwood Canyon, which is also where we are mining for clay. I'm gonna walk past that site and go get some desert willow cuttings. I love this road. It makes it so much easier to justify spending time down here. It's not even a road yet, but soon. This is all catclaw acacia on the left, and on the right is all yucca. I think. Maybe it's satol. It's satol. I had never noticed that this was all satol. That's great. On the way back, I have my gloves. Let's see if I can't take some cuttings and propagate the healthy ones. Don't know what kind of hawk you are, but you're cool. This would be great too to propagate. We'll take some of this redwood. I came down here thinking, oh, I'm gonna get desert willow, which I will get, but I should have known myself. It's like window shopping. See everything you like. But here I don't have a budget. I just gotta do some work. Well, I mean, I would hang out there too if I was on a long walk. What a great resting spot on a hot day. But if you're not aware of the border, we have tons and tons of migrant traffic that comes through here in this canyon. Is something like a super highway for them. If you remember last year, I harvested some Mexican buckeye, and this is it, but I had to go literally 2 miles to get there, to get here. And now, I'm just right here. No growth yet. Maybe I'll grab some more of the seeds. I threw the Mexican buckeye seeds on my terraces. I'm not gonna go crazy with this. I'm just gonna grab a couple. I have like 10 seeds, just enough to know that it'll germinate. I'll try this too, but I'm only gonna take maybe 3 cuttings. If I see new growth, the wood color isn't anywhere near as obvious on this. I'm going to assume it's this much slower growing stuff. I'll take 3. Let's just hope I don't have to change the batteries or anything, because I'm using my camera bag in ways it's not really intended for. I did that little awkward climbing. There's agarita right there. Could have cut instead. Okay, here's desert willow. Just starting to grow. Ideally, I'd like to see kind of a greenish bark on it. Yeah, I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. I mean, this takes 5 minutes to cut, so if I don't see what I'm looking for, I'm just gonna take some cuttings anyway, because it's just a little bit of rooting hormone and 40 cuttings sitting in water. And if they don't root, then they don't get potted. That's my harvest. We'll see if we can't get these guys going. And if we see roots in, maybe within 2 weeks, then I'll send Brandon down here before I get back in May, take more cuttings and get more stuff planted. Let's see if we can't get some other cuttings though, different species. That's the right color. All of this is last year's wood, which I think it would be better if it was this year's, but it just, maybe that's a fall thing for catclaw. I don't know. It's so awesome being down here in the afternoon. Like that sun is really unpleasant, but in the shade, it's perfect. White thorn. It's probably a little too woody, but how about here? The spikes really don't hurt that bad. It's the catclaw where they dig into you. It's weird in the desert. I mean, the big thorns are intimidating, but the ones that actually hurt are the tiny, tiny little ones, especially on the cacti. They're so unpleasant because you can't get them out. And since I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to take different cuttings at different stages of maturity. I think that's good. All right, let's go get these in water. That's enough. Okay, so I got my little system here. I'm taking cuttings of desert willow. Should I remove the leaves or just cut off dead growth?
For desert willow cuttings, it's best to remove most of the leaves. This helps the cutting focus its energy on developing roots instead of supporting foliage. Just leave a couple of leaves at the top to allow for some photosynthesis. Also, trim off any dead or damaged growth. This will give your cuttings the best chance at success.
Desert willow. We're gonna try it again. I think it's a little early. It might have to be in like 2 or 3 weeks, but I found some redwood, so I think these will take. But I'd be happy if I got 50% success rate. But I'm gonna add a little rooting hormone, and then hopefully you can keep an eye on them. Where do you want me to put them? If you're going to the nursery all the time, maybe that's the best spot. All right, let's do that. Hello, little friends. That's just to keep this. The soil has no purpose, obviously, for the roots. It's just to keep the bottle from spilling over. But let's give you all a quick tour. We're using these buckets to give everything as much shelter as possible. These are all white mulberry. Yep, because I can see the little white seeds right there. So all the mulberry is doing really well. This looks like, well, except that one's not doing so hot. But they look like they're doing okay. And the soil looks damp, which is great. These are goji berries. And we transplanted so many of them in the fall, and they didn't make it. The only one that made it is pretty large. So these are gonna have to be given probably a full year before we can risk putting them out. And this is my agave, which is looking, honestly, pretty terrible. I brought this out in my dually, and the soil got so badly disturbed I had to replant everything, and I'd be lucky if I saved 10 of these. They look so bad. And then I lost this. This is the more mature one. These are about 6 weeks younger, and they all died. And the reason I risked bringing them out is I can only take care of so many. I have very limited room on my desk at home. And I thought, well, I'll just bring these out, and they're agave, they put up with so much. So that sets me back several months, but at least it's a faster experiment than doing this in the ground. So I'll have to reset with the agave, but luckily I overbought on seeds so I can recover. But let's see what else we got. I don't know if there's anything in these totes. Brandon's managing the nursery. So these are, these should be a jujube, but that looks, yeah, that's not a mulberry. So that's a jujube. Although the jujube seeds are huge, so I don't know what's what, but we have some germinations, which is awesome. So he's doing this for moisture control. We could probably get away with another couple of days. Yep, more. So these must be the, oh, I know, these are Lucana. This is Lucana retusa, so this is a native. And this is the one I'm super excited about. Let me see if I can find the seed husk. Yeah, that. So this is the Leucaena retusa pots. Awesome. I can't wait to have this because this is a native. It grows moderately quickly and it meets all my requirements for shade and cold tolerance, heat tolerance, and the pods are edible to livestock in limited quantities. Don't know what that is. He's got something going. And now you've seen the nursery, and this is, aside from the agave, and oh, that's a red yucca that Aaron from Red Oak donated. So thank you, Aaron. We'll get that in the ground soon. But everything else, this is mostly Brandon's hard work. So I'm really excited. We're gonna get this filled up over time. Hopefully these cuttings start to occupy a lot more of the space, and we're also, yeah, that's a good place to leave it.